Spring 2023 teachers. Congratulations on making it this far. It has been such a long journey, but you're coming close to an end, and we can't believe that you guys will be here in Korea in just about a month. We're so excited to finally meet you all in person after working virtually together for all these months. But of course, we might be a little bit nervous of moving to a whole different country, so we've gathered some helpful tips and hacks for you to know before coming to Korea to help you adjust a little bit better. Of course, we would love to teach you all about everything that it comes down to living in Korea, but there is just too many, and we would let you just rather figure those out on your own. So the most important ones that we'll discuss in this video will just be about public transportation, ARC, and the PCCC, and of course the water boiler system and recycling. Tip number 1 is to download maps. Okay, I'm sure you guys have Google Maps on your phone already downloaded, or whatever other apps that you used in your country, but we have 2 here that we highly recommend you to download before coming to Korea. So the first one will actually be Naver, and then the second one will be Kakao. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Kakao because of KakaoTalk, but Naver is basically, you can see it as kind of like the Google of South Korea. So a lot of the search engines we'll use here in Korea is Naver instead of Google. You might get more information on certain locations or certain answers to things with Naver than Google. So I have here on my screen QR codes for the Google Play Store for Android users and of course iOS for Apple users. So feel free to scan this and download it before you come to Korea so that you guys have the proper working maps. I also have here a video on my slide to kind of show you guys the 2. This one is Naver Maps. So that blue pinpoint there is basically where our office is located here in Gangnam. So I'm just showing you, maybe let's say I want to grab a coffee at the nearby Starbucks. So I'm just typing in Starbucks there, and it shows me like the closest ones near me. I can kind of pick and choose to see which one I'll go to. Today, I guess I'll just go to this one near Gangnam Station. Of course, because I'm so close, it first gives me the option to walk there. But you know what? I'm feeling lazy, not going to walk. I'm going to take the bus ride. So I can scroll down to see which is the fastest option with the least amount of transfers or walking. And I can kind of select which one I want to take, and it'll give me the directions. And then I can zoom in and out. Of course, if you look at the top, it also gives, you can favorite some locations, and then you can also click on restaurants, nearby cafe, CVS, all of that. This next one is Kakao Maps here. So Kakao Maps, of course, because it's the same company as KakaoTalk, it's pretty good because you can kind of link it with your KakaoTalk and share your current destination with your friends if you're meeting them up somewhere. It has a lot of more tricks or little, little things that you can actually use with the app as well, more than Naver, in my opinion. So, yeah, mine, I'm not sure why it's in Korean. I couldn't figure out how to change it to English. So, it's showing everything in English, but if you could set it to English, it's showing everything in Korean, but you can set it to English. So, that button at the top where it has a bell and it has an on as well, it also gives you the alert, so that you know when to get off the bus, so that you don't miss your stop as well. So you might be wondering then how you're going to pay for these bus rides or taxi rides or whatever. There's something called a Tmoney card. I'm sure if you've already been here in Korea before, you know what a Tmoney card is. But all our teachers for all those teachers who haven't been here before, we have something called a Tmoney card, which is basically like a transportation card. So it can look something like this or even like this. You can get your personalized one with these kiosks here and get them of your favorite K-pop bias. They also come in like keychain forms as well and many other ones. But these cards, so you can buy at convenience stores, um, CU, 7-Eleven, GS, any convenience stores near. And you basically will be reloading these cards and putting money on them so that you can just tap in and tap out when you are getting on the bus, on the subways, or even using taxis. So for buses, this is usually near the front door of when you hop on the bus, and you'll just tap there with your Tmoney card. And then, of course, there's another one when you are getting off the bus as well in the back, and then you will tap out when you are getting off the bus. It's very important to tap in, but also very important to tap out, because if not, then you're just gonna get charged, keep on getting charged basically when you are already off the bus ride. And then, of course, at the subways, it looks something like this. When you're going into the subway, there will be kind of like a gate, and then you'll just tap in. And then, of course, when you're getting out, you will have to tap out in order to leave the subway station. In order to charge these T-monies or to purchase one, of course, there's kiosks that look like this inside the subway stations. The one in the blue on the left is basically for you to buy one that you can keep using multiple times. But then the silver one on the right is for you to charge the one you currently have, or you can also purchase just like one-time transportation card. Let's say like if you forgot yours that you use all the time at home, then you can just get a one-time one, which is a little bit cheaper. And you would only be paying for like the destination that you're actually going to, so that you're not like wasting and getting all these Tmoney cards. Of course, these are also located at every subway stations. So in case that you do run out of money in your Tmoney card and you're not able to exit the subway ride, you could definitely just charge it before, and then you can scan it so that you can leave the station. Again, but there are also CU or GS25 or even 7-Eleven all around South Korea where you can charge your Tmoney card or also purchase one. Of course, when you purchase a Tmoney card, there will be no money in it, so please remember to actually charge the card once you get it. Think of it kind of like a gift card, basically. There are other places as well where you can charge your Tmoney cards, other convenience stores or even like marts. But these are like the ones that you see the most around Korea. So I just put these three. Let's go into tip number 2. Tip number 2 is create a PCCC. PCCC. 3 C's. That's a lot of C's. But of course, you can't really create a PCCC until you have your ARC, okay? All these acronyms. So, of course, I'm sure you guys have heard of the ARC already before. It might be a little confused on what to prepare, how you're going to do this once you are here in Korea, but don't worry. So, ARC stands for Alien Registration Card. So, of course, like all other countries, everyone has their ID card, identification card. This blue card that will look, yours might look something like this, is basically going to be like your ID card here in Korea, so that you don't have to walk around with your passport all the time, and you could just use this as your ID. So this is basically how your ARC will look. It will have your name on there. You will get like an ID number for you, or the ARC number, of course, and then it will say your nationality, and then it will also have the visa that you have, which will be the E2 visa. And then, of course, like a little picture of you. The ARC on the back of it will also have the address which you are currently residing here in Korea, and then it will also have the expiration date of your ARC. So from like what day to what day your ARC is valid for. Okay, so with your ARC, don't worry, your co-teacher will help you as much as they can to create a ARC, and you can always ask them for help or ask your school for help. They're very, very helpful when it comes down to it. I don't think I ever had an instance where the co-teacher didn't want to help our teachers creating the ARC. So of course, always ask them for questions. They will help you out. Also because that Office of Education is sponsoring you for your visa and your ARC. So yeah, they will have all the answers. And then this, of course, you will apply with your co-teacher once you are here in Korea after your orientation and when you go to your actual school. Of course, with the ARC, you do need passport photos. I know you guys sent some when you were submitting your application, but keep in mind, you will need a lot of passport photos when you are here in Korea, usually with medical checks or important documents such as ARC and other visa or other documents that you might need to prepare for the Office of Education or any type of formal documents. Here in Korea, they tend to put passport photos attached to the documents to make sure that it is that person's. So good to kind of bring some with you if you can, so that you just have a whole bunch ready and you can just use them and don't have to take another picture every time you need one. But of course, in case that you do forget to bring them here in Korea, there are something like a passport booth in the subway station. So that is what that white box is there in the middle. It's basically like a booth where you just go in and take your passport photos and it will print it out for you. Like it's just like a passport photo booth. Very cheap. There are in most populated subway stations. So usually like Hongdae, or even subway stations like Seoul Station or near any type of populated areas, they usually have this. But of course, if there isn't one near you or you can't find them, there are always like Kodak, like little photo studios like this on the left, or other places you can take passport photos like all around South Korea. And they normally take about, I would say, like 15, 20 minutes. Very, very quick for a passport photo and super cheap. But again, sometimes just best to bring ones that you already have. Also keep in mind, this passport photo will be used like on your actual ARC and other documents. So you might want to use something that you're satisfied with. Okay, because I made that mistake and I'm not really happy with my ID card. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So of course, once you do get your ARC, then you can get this PCCC, which is basically called a Personal Customs Clearance Code. So sometimes here in Korea, if you're buying things overseas or receiving a package from somewhere outside of Korea, they will normally ask for your PCCC number. Did I say that right? PCCC number. Okay, basically the customs clearance code number. Okay, if you don't have the PCCC, you can always use your passport number, or you can also use your ARC number that we just talked about. But it does take a lot of time, because if you have your PCCC ready, and like on my slide here, when you're purchasing something, they will ask for it, you'll put it in, so that it just clears through customs very smoothly, so it's faster and it'll deliver it to you a lot faster. But if you don't give them the PCCC number, it will get stopped at customs, and then people in customs will either text message you or Kakao message you saying, hey, can you fill out this form with either your passport number or either your ARC number, because we have your stuff. And then until you input your passport number or ARC number, they will not send the package from customs. It basically won't clear customs. It's not going to get delivered to you. So there will be a delay. So very good to make this. Yes, of course, if you don't really plan on buying anything from overseas, or if you don't plan on, receiving any packages overseas, or you're okay with waiting, then you don't have to make this, but it's just like a little hack. I know personally for me, I love shopping on Amazon. I miss all the snacks I used to eat, all the hot Cheetos from the States. So sometimes I'll be buying those online and it will require me to put the PCCC. So, or of course, I know some of your families might want to send something from home to you guys. So then if you provide them with the PCCC number, it will arrive to your door a lot faster, and you don't have to worry about like filling out that form that customs sends you. I do have a link there as well on my screen. If you guys go to that link, it will give you detailed instructions on how to create your own PCCC once you get your ARC. Okay, but of course you need your ARC to create the PCCC. I do have a video here though to kind of show you guys how to create one as well. All right, so I know the video went really, really fast, but of course, if you guys need to create the PCCC once you get your ARC, you can always come back to this video and watch it and kind of watch it at a slower pace. Okay? Now let's go to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is probably the most important. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Very famous saying, basically saying that if you're in a certain country, you gotta follow their customs and their culture. So one of the biggest things here in Korea is probably our heating system. So we get really, really extremely cold winters here. Of course, extremely hot summers as well. But when you guys are arriving here in Korea, it will be in February, so it will still be probably really cold. I think today was like minus 17 Celsius, so I'm sure around then it will still be pretty cold. So here in Korea, we have a heating system, which is basically kind of like an 온돌 heating system, which basically kind of means that like our floors gets heat up. Of course, this came from back in the days in history, of course, when our kitchen were used with actual like wood fire. So we would recycle the hot heat coming from the kitchen, and it would basically circulate around the house and then heat up our floors, so that we're not wasting that hot air from the fires that we're using to cook in our kitchen. But now, of course, science, and we've modified it. So now we're not actually using like the hot air, but now we instead use our hot water. So we have this boiler system now, but of course, kind of originally came from ondol system. So you might hear a lot of people talking about the hot floors as ondol here in Korea. So I do have an example here of our thermostat, kind of like an example. Of course, yours might not look like this in your housing. There are many different types of thermostats. So I do have a link at the top there for you guys. It does give like the most common thermostats that you might see in your house. And then it also kind of like labels what it's saying in Korean to English, so you guys know how to kind of work your hot water. So your hot water will not turn on unless you turn on this system, this heater system on your thermostat. So you got to make sure that it's on. If not, you might be thinking maybe your plumbing is broken, or you might call your house landlord or something, you know. So definitely look at that link there I provided, so that you guys can kind of see how to actually work your thermostat, so also that you're not freezing in your house. But of course, this is a huge system here in Korea, so a lot of us, of course, we're usually have the culture of eating on our floors, and because the floor is very hot, our house is usually very, very warm, or sometimes even hot during the winter time. Yes. Of course, I do have translations there as well of can you check the boiler, or of course how to say heating, or it's really cold in here, can you turn up the temperature, or anything like that. So if you're not too sure, you guys can always ask someone to help you. Next up, and our final one is about recycling. So did you guys know that actually Korea is top 3 in the world for recycling? So originally, I think until 2008, I think we were number 2, but I think we got pushed back. I think it might have been Netherlands, or I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that one, but I just know we're number 3 and Germany is number 1. Yeah. But so here in Korea, we used to have these huge trash mountains. That's a photo, a little history for you guys. So that's a photo from 1994, I think like before I was born. Um, we used to have these trash mountains all over Seoul. They were like filled with trash. But of course, Seoul government, like the office there, Seoul office or whatever, the Seoul Metropolitan Office, of course, if some of you guys are placed in SMOE, the office in there, they were kind of like, you know what, we're sick of this trash piling up, and it smells, and, we could really, I think we need to clean this up. It's getting out of hand. So they came up with like a whole recycling system, and now that same mountain is the World Cup Park District here in Seoul, which is in Sangam-do. Sangam-dong. So you guys can visit that place. Yeah, but it used to be a trash mountain. So they were able to clean up all this trash with something called a pay as you throw system. So this is like a recycling system we have here in Korea. And just as the pay as you throw states, we're basically paying to throw our trash away. So we have to purchase these little bags, and recycle them in the bags that they're supposed to go in and throw them away. Okay. I do have, of course, bags there. Your bags, probably where you live, will not be the same color and it will be different. Each region has their own waste bags and different colors. So the easiest way to know that you're purchasing the right waste bag would be buying one at your nearest convenience store or mart or super grocery store where you live. So like the closest grocery store near you or like in the same city, then you know you are buying the correct ones. Yeah, multiple sizes. You can get them all different sizes. So we have one trash for regular trash, which is the one on the left. And then we have another one for our food waste trash. So we separate everything. We literally recycle down to our plastics, our vinyls, our cans, glasses. We even separate styrofoam and then paper. Yeah, everything. Okay. So it's very important that you guys kind of learn what you can throw away in the regular trash and what you have to recycle, because if you don't, you will be fined, and the fine is pretty high. Okay, so definitely good to find out about the proper recycling here in Korea. So even when you're outside, we recycle. So if you guys decide to go out with your friends, have a picnic in Hangang River, then Han River, of course, you will still have to recycle and separate your food waste to everything. So you guys will see a lot of recycling bins all around the city. Even when you're walking and you have your coffee that you want to throw away, you will have to recycle that plastic cup. And then, of course, if the straw is paper, you'll be throwing it away in a different bin and all that stuff. Okay. So, of course, on the left there, that is actually a donation box. I kind of wanted to put that there as well because I know that some of you guys might be bringing maybe too many clothes or too many things and then might not be needing it here in Korea. So if you guys do have like any extra clothes, bags, shoes, whatever, we do have this yellow bin all around the city here in Korea, and you guys can just drop it off there, and then those used clothes will get donated to people who need them. Okay, this is a good one. But the gray trash there on the right side of those bags is actually the food waste bin. So you will actually see those all around South Korea as well, probably near your house as well too. And people will just throw their food waste there. The picture at the top is kind of showing you like probably like the basement or like the parking lot of someone's house. My previous house also looked like that as well, and there were separate bins with labels on what I should recycle in those. And then usually like the paper boxes were kept outside like that so that they can fold it and then use them again. But they're each labeled in a different one, so you have to make sure you throw them away in the correct ones. Your house might look a little different than that one, but of course, yeah, just look at the label, try to follow as best as you can, and then also kind of study up on some recycles. Okay. I do have here, let me show you guys the different bags that we have at our office so you guys kind of see it better. So of course, again, the colors are different according to like your city. So ours is purple one here. This is like the regular trash bag. It's the 20-liter one. It says Seocho there. And then, of course, I have another one. This is for Gangnam, which is not our city, so we actually can't use this one. But again, it's in a different color. We do have another little bag here, which is our food waste bag. And then it's the smallest one, which is the 1-liter one. And then it says it in English there. It also gives you instructions on what you can actually throw away and what you can't. And then I didn't know, but it also writes in English there of how much you might be fined if you don't recycle the proper way. And then Sacho again there. So you guys want to make sure that you are using the correct bags for the city. If you're not too sure, then you can always just buy one at the nearest convenience store and then keep one with you so that when you're just going to go buy another bag at your closest convenience store or, closest grocery store, you can just show the worker the bag and be like, can I get more of these? And then they'll understand what you're talking about. Okay. Let me actually also show you guys of us throwing the trash away at our office as well. So for us, we separate everything before. So we have like the paper there, and then we have another bin for just our vinyls separated. We have another one for our regular trash there. It was overflowing, so it's outside. But again, the purple one, it says Socho, of course, regular trash. And then we have that white one for all the recyclables. This is us throwing our trash away, showing you guys that we're separating it. Okay. All right, and then of course at the end, we're showing you guys that there is usually a separate place to throw away the battery. So you guys might also want to check that with your housing as well. Some places don't have it, some places do, but of course, if they do, you will want to throw your battery separately in there. And that is it for our video. We are so excited to see you guys here soon at the airport. We will also be having a webinar to let you guys know more about what is actually going to happen at the airport as well in February. So please look out for that. But of course, we can't wait to have you here. So I just hope the best for you guys, and then of course hope that this video was as helpful as it was. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and see you guys soon. Bye.